Hey friends, do you know what the superpower of communicating is? I'll tell you, hang on, we're gonna get there. It's a superpower that you have, and you can even get developed and grow this skill. So amazing. Hang on.
Hey, I'm Lydia. I used to be an ordinary stay-at-home mom and wife. We had 2 kids, and for 3 years, everything was perfect until we got pregnant again. But this time with quadruplets. There was so much stress going from a family of 4 to a family of 8 overnight, so I created a system for renewing our relationships. This channel is dedicated to sharing that system, every single part of it. I love teaching how to connect, manage emotions, and turn it all into growing together times. You're going to find all that information right here.
All right, welcome in. We're going to be talking about the superpower flexibility. Have you ever seen a really flexible person? And they can bend and do all sorts of crazy things. Like in the circus, they bend all over and they like make their body into pretzels and amazing stuff that they can do. And people just watch them, and their job is to just be flexible. That's their job. They get paid to be flexible because it's so amazing. Well, there's another way that you and I can be flexible. And it doesn't really involve our bodies all that much, but it involves our mindset and our communication skills. And what it looks like is having more than one option, more than one way to be satisfied and happy. Okay, so imagine you're in a conversation and the person you're having the conversation with says, well, this is the way it is. It's going to be like this. What does that do to you? It was like, what? Wait, no, I disagree. I have my own opinion. I don't think so. Or maybe, but not always, right? There's always another point of view. Always. There's always another perspective. Being flexible means that we are able to see these other possible points of view, that we're able to see around a little bit different. We can stretch and bend and not break. So if we're having a conversation, we don't say it has to be this way. We don't. We can say, oh, maybe this way or that way. And then if the person that we're saying we need it to change, we need some sort of solution to this situation, we say, how about this way, or maybe this way, or maybe that way. Then no matter which way they choose, if they choose our 3 choices, we win every time because it's what we presented as the solution. If we're happy with any of them, then we're going to win. Compromising, it just is amazing. If you're the one who's flexible, if you're the one who's willing to stretch and bend instead of this is going to break me. When we're so set on one way, then it hurts if it's not our exact way. It hurts and it feels like we get broken when someone disagrees with us because, it has to be that way. But it doesn't really. Now, when we had our quadruplets, and this is a long time ago, they're 17 years old now, when we were having help, we had so much help. All the neighbors came in and we put labels on the drawers. Socks go here, pants go there. The dishes, we had spots labeled like this is where the forks go. This is the way we wanted it. But it didn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way because there's a drawer full of clothes and anything can go anywhere and it's folded in the drawer. Okay, it didn't work. When we said we want the dishes loaded this way, it doesn't matter. If someone else is helping us do the dishes, they're going to do the dishes. And the goal is to have the dishes done, not to have them organized the way that I want them organized. The goal is to have the dishes done. So if we can take this perspective in a conversation when we're trying to connect with someone, especially our spouse, if we're trying to connect, we need to have the end result in mind. And it doesn't really matter how we get there if we're getting there. And it can go this way or that way. And if we all end up at the same ending, the same conclusion, the same result together, connected and happy, that's what makes oh, the connection is amazing when you're able to be flexible and see from other people's points of view and not even get all that emotional about it. You can connect without being overly emotional. Emotions and feelings are so important. We want to feel our feelings. We must, absolutely must feel the feelings. Feelings are meant to be felt. But you don't have to make decisions based on an emotional experience. Emotional experiences help us decide what we want to do, and it doesn't need to be part of how we get there. I hope that makes sense. Because if you're really emotional about how they're going to load the dishwasher, you might have a problem getting clean dishes. If you're going to be really emotional about where the socks go, you might have some issues along the way of getting clean socks in the drawer. But it doesn't have to be that way. You say, I really like it this way. This is the way I want my socks to be. Okay. And then you can explain it without having a lot of emotional overload and spilling feelings onto other people. If they're good feelings, okay, we like to share good feelings. But if we're going to have a confrontation and say, you're doing the dishes wrong, you're doing the laundry wrong, then we don't want that kind of emotion to follow in on that conversation. We want it to be from a different logical perspective. I think the dishes get cleaner when you put them in this way. I think that the socks are stacked better if you put them in this way. We have a logical reason. Then the people on the other side go, oh, okay. And then if it makes sense, then they can do it our way. If they have a better way, then they say, oh, I think that the dishes get cleaner this way. And then we can ask why and have a conversation about it and be flexible and check it out. Being open to having more options is so fantastic. Okay, so see how you can relate this to your relationships, your spouse, especially in your marriage. We need to be the most flexible, the most understanding, the most caring, and the most loving, because that's what we want. We want someone who connects with us in the most loving, most caring way possible. So we give and receive both the same way. Okay, see how this story relates to you. My daughter, and I tell these stories, I've said it before, and if you haven't heard it, I'll tell these stories because I believe we are all just kids. We're a little bit older, our bodies changed and grow and whatever, but we're still kids. We don't ever actually really mature and grow up. We still have tantrums. We still have, things like kids. Okay, so here's my daughter. She's maybe 3 years old, about that age, okay? All along growing up to her 3-year-old point, we had color-coded them so that we knew this bottle was hers, that bottle was his, and everybody had a color that they were assigned so that they would know what their stuff was. And we didn't want to share germs and all that good stuff. So anyway, her color was pink. So she decided everything in her world had to be pink. Okay, so grandma, my mom, gets her something that's not pink. She would not have anything to do with it. She was in a freak out mode, like, how dare grandma get me something that's not pink? How could she? Doesn't she love me? All the meltdown, right? And we have this as adults. We feel this when somebody comes to us and they're like, don't you even know who I am? I wear pink, right? We have this, don't you know who I am moment. And so my mom had gotten her something that was blue. And to increase her flexibility was really important for that relationship between my daughter and my mother to still be happy. My mom, she's coming to this conversation thinking, I'm bringing you a gift. Isn't this lovely? I'm showing you my love. My daughter's on the receiving side going, how could you? And it wasn't the intention at all. Our intentions are always better than what we get. Everyone is always, our spouse especially, is always trying to connect with us We're trying to connect with each other, always the best interest, the best intentions. Okay, so I was able to have the conversation with my daughter about how the blue matches her eyes, and why don't you just try on the blue shirt and see if grandma got the right size. Just try it on and see what happens. Well, wouldn't you know, she loved blue, totally went the opposite way, had some headbutting with my son that was designated the blue. They argued over who got to have blue from then on. She was not going to have anything to do with pink anymore because the blue matched her eyes. When we are flexible and we can see a new way, a new possibility, then who knows, maybe stacking the dishes that way is better. Maybe it will bring out the blue in your eyes. Maybe they see you differently and they have a different perspective. You know, my husband got me a shirt when we were kind of newlyweds, and I thought, oh, this is the ugliest shirt on the planet. How could you think that I would want to wear that shirt? How could you even consider buying me this shirt? That's what I thought. Didn't say it. Did not say it. I said, thank you. And then because I loved him and I respected his opinion, and I thought, well, maybe he likes the way this looks. Maybe he has a different perspective. I'm going to be a little bit flexible and wear the shirt anyway. And guess what happened? Everyone that I saw when I wore that shirt, every time, complimented me on how great that shirt looked, how nice the color was, and it was the best shirt ever. I would never have chosen that. But my husband saw it in a different way. And because I was flexible, we were able to have great experience around that. Okay, so these are some silly examples, but think about how you are being flexible in your relationship and let me know what your experiences are. Let me know how this helps you, what you think, how you feel about it, all those things. Like, share, subscribe, follow, do it all, and let me know how you're doing. All right, let's connect. See you next time.